Benvenuto, welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Today we're going to make tuna casserole. The internet probably doesn't need another tuna casserole recipe, but I like mine, and of course mine's the best, so I thought I would share it with you guys. The best. Really kind of what made me think of doing tuna casserole this week was that I was online and I happened to spot an article about the best 10 canned tunas, and this happened to be in the top 5. This is called Wild Planet Tuna. Yes, it is about twice this, if not more, than a regular can of, say, Bumblebee solid white tuna, but it got a high rating. And one of the things I like about it says pure hand-packed tuna, no water, oil, or added salt, and you don't drain it. There's a little bit of liquid in there, but it says not to drain it. So anyway, we're going to try it. So the main ingredient of tuna noodle casserole is tuna and noodles, right? And then, like every good casserole, it needs a Campbell's cream of type of soup. Today we're going to use cream of broccoli. You can use any cream soup that you so choose. A traditional tuna noodle casserole calls for cream of mushroom. Wade and normally like cream of mushroom soup. I've used cream of celery, cream of other vegetables, whatever, cream of asparagus. Anyway, we're going to use cream of broccoli today. So you're going to need 2 cans of that. But those measurements will all be in the description in the recipe. Okay, so you're going to need a couple cups of shredded cheese. This happens to be sharp, extra sharp cheese, but you can use whatever cheese you like, mozzarella, cheddar, whatever cheese you like. Now again, traditionally with the tuna noodle casserole, it just calls for peas. But again, it's a casserole. You can put anything you want in it. Over the years, I've always done the peas and carrots. And I do use the frozen one opposed to the cans, only because I find the frozen ones stay together better when you mix it instead of, because the peas can be really soft in can and they'll break apart. We need a little bit of pan, and of course we need the casserole pan. Casserole, I don't know if this whole batch is going to fit in this pan, but usually I use a 9 by 13 baking pan, okay? Now, as far as seasonings go, we got a little bit of garlic. We got some onion powder. Now, when I started making this, I was working full time, and my whole goal with this was to use as little pans as possible, or plates, or so on and so forth. So, and we also need a half a cup of milk. And then what I've done over the years is I always, even if I do it in the morning, I'll put my half a cup of milk, put 2 big tablespoons of dried onions in the milk, cover it, and put it back in the refrigerator. I just find that way I didn't have to chop up an onion and everything went together really quick. Otherwise, you could also use, half an onion, diced up small. Also, if you don't want to use onion powder, you could use, say, 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, diced up or chopped really finely. But again, my whole goal of this was to be that it would be quick and I could just throw it together as soon as I got home from work and we'd have dinner in an hour. All right, and then the last thing is a topping, okay? There's so many different ways to top your tuna casserole. Probably all remember crushed potato chips. I'm going to put a little crushed potato chips on it, but that we had a few potato chips left in the bag. That's Wade's favorite potato chips. And I crushed them up. But mainly what I normally do is I always use, I use a whole sleeve of butter crackers, Ritz crackers. As you can see, I've got most of them ground up in there, and we'll go over that quicker. But with that, you just need a little bit of butter, sprinkle it on the top. My oven is set at 400. Everything's going to be basically cooked when we put it in the oven. When we put it in the oven, we just want to get it heated through thoroughly. I do have a big bowl because I'm going to mix it. It's easier if you have a big bowl to mix everything. I've got my cream soup in there. Years ago, what I used to do is I'd get everything ready. I'd put the cream, all the spices, the cheese, the veggies. I'd put it all in a bowl, mix it together along with the spices and the tuna. Then I'd cover it, put it in the refrigerator. Then when I got home, all I had to do is I would heat up this, it would be in a bowl covered. I'd heat up the soup and the peas and the carrots and the tuna in, the microwave quickly. Then take that out, put the cheese in, stir it in together. So the only thing I had to do was make the noodles, and then I'd get it in the oven. All right, that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to cook my noodles. You want to cook your noodles according to the package directions for at al dente. So those are going to probably cook about 7 minutes. I've got a big pot of water boiling. And when I get those cooked, we'll come back and get our casserole together. See you in a bit. Alrighty, so our egg noodles are cooked to al dente. I've got my 2 cans of our cream soup in there. We've got our milk, our half a cup of milk, and our onions, our dried onions, or if at this point you're using your sauteed onions, put them in. Give it a little stir. So the way I like to do it, just so our veggies don't break up that much. All right, then we can put all our spices in there. That's our garlic powder, onion powder. I don't think I mentioned a little bit of dried parsley and a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. And a mix. The other thing that's good about a tuna casserole, a tuna noodle casserole, is it is relatively inexpensive, an inexpensive meal. It makes a ton, and you can adapt it to really anything you like. If you want to, if your budget's a little tighter, you can, cut back on a few things or stretch it a little bit longer by maybe using just 1 can of tuna or some more veggies. And now, truth be told, when I opened this, I thought it was a little bit too much water, so I did drain out some of it. Not all of it, but... So you want to... Ooh, that does look good. I'm going to taste it. It is good. Now, is it necessary to use a slightly more expensive one for a tuna casserole? Probably not, because, of course, it's going to get covered up with a lot of the other flavors, but I thought we'd give it a try. It has a nice taste to it. It's not overly fishy, or... I got 1 more can, so Wade can make his famous tuna salad. He loves his tuna salad. He makes it much better than I do. Where's my other can? So I'm just breaking it up, little guys into flakes. Do you want to take a minute to look out back or no? It's up to you. He'll show you, pan around. Our pool is finally done and open. We bought this house about 5 years ago, and the pool probably had not been open for at least 10 years prior to that. So it needed a total refurbishment, and finally I let Wade spend a fortune to do the pool over. Funny thing is, I've said this to many people we've talked to us, I wasn't really all that excited about it. It was, all right, it's a pool. It'll eventually increase the value of the house, but I absolutely love it. Unfortunately, we couldn't get it done until very late in the season, but we've really enjoyed it over the last few days. A couple weeks. Hopefully, we're hoping we can get a couple more days in there. I don't know. I never thought we'd have an in-ground pool. It's decadent and luxury, and every time I go in it, I feel bad. Thank God that we have it, or that we've been able to have it. But I do feel a little bit guilty that we have it, but I'll live with it. We got to do the deck. Still, the decking needs to be done, but we needed new. The whole pool needed to be done. New base. The walls needed to be treated for rust. The steps, new steps, because the steps had collapsed. So the last thing I'm going to put in is kind of just put my veggies in and give them a little toss. All right, so we got everything in there.
So strong.
Yeah. It smells like the sea, like nice fresh tuna. So anyway, next year we'll work on getting a new surround around the pool. We haven't quite decided what we want to do, whether we want to go with a wood substitute, like a composite or stone, or anyway. All right, and then we're going to mix our noodles in. It smells delicious. The whole thing. So if you have this with a nice side salad, maybe a little garlic bread, this is a delicious, comforting, nice fall type of casserole. I mean, this is good for if you're going to a potluck or some kind of meeting. Easy to make and delicious. All right, I think that's good. All right, we're going to spray our pan with some ham. Or you can coat it with some butter if you don't have Pam. Now, what do you think? Will it all fit in here?
I'm
not quite sure. Yeah, I just thought that's a pretty dish. Plus, I do have another one handy, so I could freeze this too. The rest of it, of what we don't eat. I think it's going to fit in there. If I don't drop it. All right, I gotta put it down because get in there. Yep, it's gonna fit. So again, you can use a 9x13 baking dish. I think this is probably a 4-quart casserole. I'll check it when we get it in the oven and let you guys know for sure in the description or in the recipe. Flatten it out. Oh, that's perfect. I guess the only bad thing about this, using this pan, is you probably don't get as much surface of the crumble that we're going to put on top. Let's make sure we get all this goodness out of there. All right, so I got all my crackers in there. I'm going to give it a little butter, about a tablespoon or so. Now, I didn't use a lot of salt in here, just because the crackers or the chips are salted. Now, if you also wanted to do this just with Panko Bread Crumbs, you could do it the same way. The butter will give you just that little extra flavor. That's good. Get out of there. All right, or the classic 1970s way is crushed potato chips. Since there's such a small amount in here, I think I'll use them. And of course, if you were gonna just be using potato chips, you might want a little bit more so you get a nice coating. And our crumble, or our Ritz crackers and butter. And I'm going to put a nice base on there. It's probably going to be, like I said, if I was using a larger pan, or longer, I should say. You know what I mean? A bigger surface area. But that's going to be delicious. All right, so we got our oven preheated to 400. I'm just going to brush off this here so it doesn't burn. And I might just spread that out a little bit more. All right, and it goes 20 to 25 minutes. You just want your topping to be all nice and golden brown and crispy. Okay, set a timer for 25 minutes.
Sure, 25 minutes.
And the best thing,
now.
starting now. And the best thing about this recipe is you don't have to let it sit. You can eat it as soon as it comes out of the oven. So we'll be having dinner hopefully in the next 35 minutes. See you then. Alrighty, I checked it at 20 minutes and it is golden brown and delicious. Ooh, and nice and bubbly. Ooh, let's put it up there. Of course, the amount of butter I put in there for the topping didn't hurt it browning within before 25 minutes. But anyway, it's between 20 and 25 minutes. And there you go, our tuna casserole. Can't wait to eat. All right, it's dinner time. Today we got a nice little side salad. I got some nice fresh vegetables from the farm and their own cucumbers, and trying their little country French dressing. It looks delicious. I tasted it. It is delicious. All right, and we got our tuna casserole.
It smells delicious.
It does. It smells so buttery in the house too from all that buttery.
That's good.
Like I said, I probably, you guys will probably go a little closer to 25 minutes. That topping was kind of, spread on there high. So it's, 20 to 25 minutes?
That's delicious.
That is. Oh, that's just brings back so many childhood memories.
And I think the tuna is more strong,
More tunery.
Yeah. It doesn't just kind of mix in with the rest of the ingredients. Kind of stands out, yeah.
Of course, you could also do the same recipe, the same ingredients and everything, and just substitute that for excuse me, the doctor is coming. He should be here any moment, or he's calling, I should say, right? What did I want to say? Oh, you could use canned chicken too and make this chicken noodle salad, or do up a couple chicken breasts and broil them up, and you can put shred it and put it in this chicken.
That's true. Yep.
Oh, one of my favorite things in the world is fresh tomatoes.
That's delicious.
And unfortunately, it's getting towards the end of tomato season, so. All right, I'll let Wade finish up.
Thank you for watching the video. Please remember to like it and subscribe, and check out cherryhillhomecooking.com, and we'll see you on the next video.
Thank you. Ciao.
Bye.
That's delicious, isn't it?
It is.